with no whistle.
Now, what's the difference between a gritty defender and a reckless hazard? For DiJonai Carrington, that line didn't just get crossed. It got stomped on with steel-toed sneakers in front of the whole country. The moment the WNBA world turned on Carrington didn't come with a hard foul or a scuffle. It came with an eye poke that left one of the league's most high-profile rookies, Caitlin Clark, literally bruised, shaken, and staring down headlines she didn't ask for. It was the 2024 playoffs, Fever versus Sun. Clark, the league's newest face, was doing what she does, draining shots, taking over games, and carrying the Indiana Fever like she'd been in the league for years. Then came the play. Clark drives to the basket, goes into her signature motion, and boom, Carrington comes flying in. Not for a clean contest, not for a swat. Her hand makes direct contact with Clark's face, right in the eye socket. It wasn't subtle, it wasn't soft. It was the kind of hit that made every viewer flinch in unison. Clark's head snapped back like she got whiplash, her hand instantly clutching her face, and a visible black eye told the story better than any slow-motion replay could. The basketball world exploded. Fans, players, analysts, everyone wanted answers. And Carrington? She gave none. No apology, no concern, no sign that she might have crossed a line. Instead, she stood in front of reporters, calm as ever, and said this: "I don't even know why I would intend to hit anybody in the eye. That doesn't even make sense to me. I guess I followed through and hit her." A rookie gets visibly injured in the playoffs, and all Carrington can muster is a passive shrug? No ownership, no self-awareness, just vibes and excuses. And for fans watching, it was more than frustrating. It was infuriating. This wasn't just physical play. This felt intentional, calculated, and above all, dangerous. Because here's the thing. This wasn't an isolated incident.
DiJonai, did you, when you went and kind of swatted at Caitlin, did you intend to hit her in the eye? And if so, could you just, or if not, either way, could you talk about what happened on that play?
I don't even know why I would intend to hit anybody in the eye. That doesn't even make sense to me, but no.
After the elbow heard around the world, the one that gave Caitlin Clark a literal black eye, you'd expect some kind of accountability, some post-game reflection, maybe even a carefully worded apology, something to show basic awareness of what just happened on national television. But DiJonai Carrington? She pulled the opposite. She walked up to that podium like nothing happened. Like she hadn't just swung her arm full force and smacked the league's most valuable rookie in the face. No remorse, no acknowledgement, just cold indifference, wrapped in media training and arrogance. She didn't deny the contact. She just downplayed it like it was nothing. "I guess I followed through and hit her." That was her response. I guess. It wasn't just dismissive. It was insulting. Like she wanted the world to believe it was some accidental flick of the wrist. A misfire. An unfortunate moment in a physical game. But we all saw it. Slow motion, HD, full replay. There was intent and there was force. And that's what really pissed people off. She wasn't just unapologetic. She acted like the entire question was beneath her. Like she was the victim for even being asked about it. That press conference wasn't damage control. It was a warning. A declaration that Carrington had no plans to change, answer for anything, or even pretend to give a damn about the fallout. And when the league hit her with a fine, she didn't blink. No real reaction, no statement, no accountability, just a side eye and a social media post like it was all a joke. The silence was loud, and so was the message. DiJonai Carrington is not here to apologize. She's here to antagonize. And the league better figure out fast if that attitude is grit or if it's a ticking time bomb in sneakers. This wasn't defense. This wasn't hustle. This was DiJonai Carrington going full-blown wrecking ball and almost taking out multiple players in the process. During a preseason game between the Dallas Wings and Minnesota Lynx, Carrington made it clear. She wasn't just trying to win. She was out there trying to make it violent. In one wild possession, she came crashing into the paint with zero control and no regard for who was in her way. And the ones who paid the price? Jessica Shepard, who got tangled up awkwardly on a closeout, and Paige Bjorkers, who barely escaped taking a shoulder to the chin. It was chaos. Not physical basketball, just reckless aggression without a plan. This wasn't one of those hard fouls you live with. This was a heat-seeking missile in sneakers. You could literally see Minnesota players looking around after the play like, what the hell is she doing? When you've got a reputation for being physical, that's one thing. But when opposing teams start bracing for impact every time you're within 5 feet, that's not intensity. That's a problem. Carrington wasn't trying to play defense. She was trying to blow things up. And if you're getting preseason headlines because the other team is sending players to the bench holding their knees and faces, you're not a defensive stopper. You're a walking liability. Shepard almost went down. Buckers nearly got blindsided. And Carrington? She just kept flying around like she was playing tackle football in a basketball uniform. You can't teach hustle, but you can bench recklessness. And that moment, that was the kind of thing coaches watch on film, with their head in their hands. This was the moment things went from chaotic to historically dangerous. It's one thing to play rough, it's another to talk trash. But when a referee, not a coach, not a player, a referee calls for security because of your behavior on the court, that's not intensity. That's a red flag waving in front of the entire league. During a tense showdown against the Chicago Sky, things reached a boiling point. DiJonai Carrington got into a verbal altercation with referee Roy Gulbeyan, and it didn't look like your average bad call complaint. She wasn't just chirping, she was locked in, chest out, arms flailing, refusing to back down. Gulbeyan, a seasoned official who's seen it all in pro basketball, took one look at Carrington and waved to the sideline. Security. Get over here. Now. It was unprecedented. In the WNBA's entire history, no player, male or female, had ever provoked that level of response from an official on live television. Not for a flagrant, not for a fight, not even for ejections. But Carrington, she made a ref feel unsafe. You could hear the stunned silence. Commentators paused. Fans were tweeting in disbelief. Nobody knew how to process it, because it had simply never happened before. And what did Carrington do after all this? Did she apologize? Show remorse? Stay quiet? Nope. She hopped on social media with the most tone-deaf response imaginable. Smiling selfies, sarcastic captions, cryptic tweets like, "They just can't handle me." Like this was some petty rivalry in a pickup game, not a televised sports league watched by millions. Instead of owning the moment, she doubled down. And just like that, whatever credibility she had left, it evaporated. Coaches were done making excuses. Fans were flipping sides. Commentators couldn't defend her anymore. And the league? They were now dealing with something bigger than just a hard foul or trash talk. They were staring down a PR disaster with a jersey number. 4 flagrant fouls, not in a season, not even over a month. 4 flagrant fouls in under 10 games. That's not just playing with passion. That's a walking liability, a danger to opponents, officials, and now, her own team. The Dallas Wings were watching the Carrington situation spiral and fast. Every game felt like a ticking time bomb. Was she going to commit another reckless foul? Start another on-court brawl? Draw another ejection? But here's the part the cameras didn't catch. It wasn't just the league getting fed up. It was the locker room. Whispers started turning into side eyes. Side eyes turned into arguments. Arguments turned into full-blown tension. Players were sick of being asked about Carrington's antics after every game. Sick of the media frenzy. Sick of the distractions. And most of all, sick of losing games because of her. Carrington wasn't just damaging her own rep. She was dragging down the entire team. She was supposed to be a spark plug. Instead, she became a chemistry killer. You could feel it on the bench, see it during huddles, hear it in the interviews where teammates started choosing their words very carefully. Dallas tried to manage it. Coaches had talks, execs held meetings. But after that 4th flagrant, after that Chicago incident, after the league started raising eyebrows, they'd had enough. And so, without a flashy press conference or dramatic farewell, they cut her. Just like that. No thanks, no tribute post, just a cold, hard message. We're done. Because when your presence consistently disrupts, when your highlights are headlines for all the wrong reasons, when your ego becomes bigger than the scoreboard, eventually, even your own team pulls the plug. At this point, the WNBA fandom has entered fantasy fix-it mode. After DiJonai Carrington's dramatic fall from grace, one name keeps popping up like a last resort hotline: Coach Reeve. Minnesota's battle-hardened, championship-winning head coach, a disciplinarian, a culture setter, A no BS type of leader who could take raw chaos and sculpt it into championship-level poise. Fans are whispering, tweeting, and meme posting. If anyone can save Carrington, it's Reeve. But let's get real. Even Cheryl Reeve doesn't do miracles. Coaching isn't magic. You can't just sprinkle some X's and O's over a toxic mindset and expect it to bloom into leadership. Reeve could lay down the law, sure. She could bench her, challenge her, demand accountability. But if Carrington's not willing to change, if she's still online trolling critics and doubling down on her own delusions, no coach in the world can fix that. This isn't about finding the right system or the right role. It's about self-awareness, something Carrington has shown absolutely zero signs of developing. Even now, with her reputation in shambles, she's not reflecting. She's clapping back. And the WNBA's Pat Bev nickname? That ain't a compliment. It's a warning. It says, you're not a star, you're a sideshow. It says, you're known more for chaos than contribution. It says, you're not helping, you're a hazard. So could Reeve take the risk? Maybe. But should she? Let's be honest, she's building a championship culture in Minnesota. And right now, Carrington, she's just noise. This wasn't just a trade. This was a message, loud, clear, and long overdue. For years, the WNBA turned a blind eye to escalating cheap shots, flagrant fouls, and toxic energy masked as competitive fire. But the league just drew a line in the sand, and DiJonai Carrington's name is written all over it. Talent no longer excuses chaos. Dallas finally had enough. They weren't just cutting a player, they were cutting a problem, a distraction, a locker room storm they couldn't weather any longer. For them, this wasn't a loss. It was closure. Minnesota? They rolled the dice. Maybe they think they can change her. Maybe they believe there's a competitor worth salvaging beneath the drama. Or maybe they just don't know what's about to hit them. Because this wasn't just about Carrington. This was a warning shot to the whole league. You can talk trash. You can play hard. But cross the line enough times, and eventually, you're not a competitor anymore. You're a liability. Now the question is, did DJ Carrington get the message? Or is this just the calm before her next storm? If you're tired of the chaos, say it loud. Fire DiJonai now in the comments. Let's see who's really fed up.